Good morning, natural gas and commodities traders. And today we will be looking at the price actions of natural gas and the psychology behind it, as well as what's the most likely scenario where the price is going to be heading into next week. So we'll be looking at a couple of levels, support and resistance to see where is the most likely scenario that natural gas will be bouncing or rejecting from. And let's get started. So we'll be looking at natural gas, UNG, oil, cold, and gold and silver. All right. So we're looking at natural gas, net gas, and on Wednesday, I talked about where this on the daily time frame is a potential daily bear flag. So you can see from the top of the move, A, second, A to B. So this is a Fibonacci retracement. And if it retraces only 0.382 of the entire move, meaning 38.2% of the move. So it bounced only 38.2%. And it rejected from that area, meaning it's still in the bear flag territory. If it bounced above that, that means it's not a bear flag anymore. So we didn't bounce above that. And on Tuesday, we pretty much are right at that level of bear flag again. And on Wednesday, we broke through it. So that's a confirmed bear flag. And we tested the bottom line of the support after the bear flag confirmed. So you can see this bottom maroon looking line is a strong level of support. Over here, back here, and back here, and back here. So it bounced off of this support many times. So the most likely scenario when we come down to that area is a initial bounce. It doesn't mean that that bounce is going to give us all the way up here again or whatever. But the most likely scenario when we come down to that area is very clearly a initial bounce. And then now we're looking back to see, will we get more follow through from this bounce or not? And currently, so we zoom into the hourly to give us more idea to see if the bulls are shaping up any kind of trend changes or playing any offense at the moment. So not really at the moment, but there's a few signs that we can say that the bulls are playing defense. So when we hit that support line, which is this maroon looking line, you can see, we pretty much just reshape the whole thing. And so that's bulls playing defense here. And meaning there is buyers that are willing to want to step in this area. Oh, we got that. And obviously we are still in a downtrend for everything, hourly, daily, 4-hour. So meaning obviously bears would want to take it back down. And bulls ended up playing defense again because this is a double bottom at the 2.47 level of support, this orange looking line. And that's a good sign, meaning we're making a higher low. So you guys know how I talk about trend changes, meaning the low of the next pivot is higher than the prior one. Right? So that's perfect here. So now what I want to see is bulls breaking this high right here. So the bulls can break this high, which is 2.565. Now we confirmed an hourly uptrend back to the bulls because we made a higher low here, higher than this high. So that's a hourly uptrend confirmed after we break above this. So I want to see bulls actually playing offense now after they played defense here. So this is the initial sign where bulls are playing defense here. And that could be the marking the potential temporary bottom here. Because if you scroll back, you can see every time we get a bounce, right? Bulls play, let's say bulls play defense here. It just fades the whole way. We don't get any more price action where bulls try to hold levels. Like just like here, when it fade, bulls try to play defense again, faded again, bulls play defense again. This double bottom versus bulls just fades, and then it kind of just fades the whole way, right? So there's initial signs where we can start to see where bulls are a little bit more interested in buying in this zone versus back in all these zones where we confirm daily downtrends, right? So yeah, so we need to see bulls play some offense on Monday or Tuesday to get up above this level. Once we confirm that hourly uptrend, then I start to zoom out and say, can we confirm a 4-hour. So if we do break that same level right there on the 2.56 zone, we also confirmed a 4-hour uptrend. That's a good sign. And daily would take a little bit longer because daily trends, you only get one candle per day. And even if we do break that top, I still count it as one move because there's no pivot yet. We need to set a pivot. So most ideal scenario for me for the bulls, once we get that hourly uptrend, when we break that Thursday's high, 2.565, which is right here on the daily candle, I want to see us go straight shot to that 12 EMA. See the tail looking line? So you type in indicators, exponential moving average, and then you type in 12. So you get this EMA 12 right here. As you can see, we've been rejecting from it a couple times since on the most recent action, it was acting as support. Now it's acting as resistance, resistance, resistance. So it doesn't always act as a clear resistance or support, but when it does in the most recent time frame, in the last month, then we can use it. But let's say back here, right? It's just a cluster of nothing, and it's not very clear that we don't use it. But when it's trending, let's say over here, bounce, 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 bounce. You can see exactly bounce. And once it broke, you can see we get bearish actions, right? So we can use it in this time frame as well. And we have it here where it's acting support. Now it's acting resistance because we broke through it, right? We can still use it as resistance. The most, what I want to see once we break Thursday's high, I want to see us bulls straight shot up to the 12 EMA, which is only, let's see, about 2.2% away, so it's not that far. So I want to see bulls be able to straight shot towards it. And then say we make, that'll be one straight move, right? From the bottom to the top. That's a decent 6.4% bounce. And let's say we reject it, right, initially. Say we pull back a little bit. And then I want to see that pivot being set as the higher low, meaning the low of this pivot is going to be higher than this one. And then break above the 12 EMA after that to confirm the daily uptrend. That's the most ideal scenario for me for a bull. Big enough bounce, reject temporary from the 12 EMA initially. Let's say we form a bull flag and then set that pivots, confirm the daily uptrend back to bull's favor. As of now, it's still in a daily downtrend, hourly and 4-hour downtrend. So first step for you guys, bulls, hourly uptrend, where I just talked about it, and then the daily trend change. So we'll see if bulls can pull that off. For you bears, follow the daily downtrend is still continuing. You can see the last pivot set was right there. So this is still one straight move. And if the next bounce, we reject from that 12 EMA, and then we come all the way back down here, it means the daily downtrend is still continuing because we did not break above the prior pivots. So we'll see after this bounce, are the bulls going to be serious enough to break above this 12th EMA and come back to retest 2.62? Or the daily downtrend just going to continue, and we might retest this maroon uptrending looking line support again. Doesn't mean it's game over for the bulls if that happens, because let's say we come back all the way down here and retest this maroon looking support line, right? It's still a higher low, meaning this low is higher than this low, and let's say we bounce here, we could still form a daily uptrend, but it just the amount of the pullback is going to give bears more chance to go down. So we don't want to see too much of a pullback, right? The most ideal scenario would be a bounce and a shallow pullback for the next move up. But anything can happen. So we'll see. And I wouldn't say we would be that likely to break the support line. If we do, then we're coming back out down to 2.371. But as of now, no signs of that yet. So we'll see. All right, those are the levels that we will be looking at for natural gas. And UNG is the tradable ticker for net gas. And you can see it's very similar. So it's been bouncing for the last 2 days. So we have been bouncing as well on UNG in the last 2 days. And it's also as well in a daily downtrend. So same thing for me. The hourly guide to break above this Thursday's high gave us an hourly uptrend back. And it's shaping up pretty well, we just have to, one green candle on Monday and we are above it. But who knows? Sundays is sometimes we cap down or cap up, and it's kind of in our control. But we will see. So we base it off of our price action, and we will see if bulls can end up pulling that off. So if they do, same thing. I'll be looking at this EMA 12, and this is the pivot for the downtrend. So if we bulls can pull that break above the Monday, August 21st pivots, then bulls have gain go from a downtrend to a neutral trend. And then now I want to see that pivot set as well. Get that uptrend back into guys bulls favor. So I'll be looking at the 7.17 level as well for resistance. And bears, if we do reject from this double top and don't even form an hourly uptrend, then you guys bears are in absolute full control. Because daily 4-hour hourly is still in it now. And if we can't even get over this little double top hourly trend for bulls, then obviously bears still in full control. Then we might head down lower and retest 6.63. And then if that breaks, it'll be this low. And if that breaks, we're coming down to 6.29. All right, so Boyle is leverage 2x for UNG. So meaning if UNG goes up, on Friday, it goes up 1.7278. It should go up twice as much. Sometimes the leverage is a little bit off. So it's roughly just times it by 2. So it's 4%. And KOLD is the short size, so meaning it will be down 4%. So we don't chart these. I always talk about this on every video because it's leveraged, meaning the chart is skewed. So even if it breaks support or resistance on Boyle or KOLD, is not correct, meaning so you want to chart UNG. So if UNG breaks support, then will also broke support, regardless of what the price number is for Boyle and KOLD. So to chart UNG, and if it breaks your support level or resistance level on these levels, and you would stop out, then just stop out on Boyle and KOLD. So, all right, let's take a look at gold. Gold, I was talking about the dollar strength, where we'll likely see the dollar shift. Then we will see metals shift as well. And the dollar ended up being a little bit weaker in the last couple of days. And we can see gold starting to perform a little bit. And let's take a look to see which levels gold would bounce to. So we got back above this 1908, which is perfect. It's a V shape, retest, and bounce. So that's a good sign that there's potential likelihood we had higher because we retest the prior resistance. So this was prior resistance, sorry, prior support. You can see all this bounces right here, right? We broke through it. You can see once we broke through, you get that big bear follow through. But then we got a V shape once the dollar is weaker. Now we retest it as support. So we bounce off of it. You see the lower wick. That's a good sign, meaning that potentially there are buyers playing defense here again. So we can see likely. So the most likely scenario is that we'll likely head higher to 1941 at the dollar to see how the dollar is doing. Dollar is still strong, but not as strong as it used to be because you see this move put a lot of pressure on the metals. How fast it moved in a vertical direction. So you're coming up to a resistance here for the dollar at this 104. There's also resistance just exactly where we rejected from here as well. Right there. You see all this upper wick here, all this rejections from the dollar. So we had a initial rejection, but is not a red flag for the bulls at all because it's just a slight pullback. No big deal. It can just go sideways for the next couple of days and then retest it again. So now, dollar bulls are in absolute full control in every time frame, and we'll see if it slows down or not. But the correlation is starting to weaken a little bit for metals and dollar because of how oversold it was for the gold. Makes sense. We have initial bounce. But if let's say the dollar continues to skyrocket, right, it's still going to put pressure on the metals. So it'll be likely putting weakness on gold. Let's see, silver was outperforming before gold, so it made sense when it bounced. So I remember talking about it on I think Tuesday, where it was already bouncing and gold was not yet, and so it was relative strength, meaning when gold does bounce, silver is going to bounce even more after that. So essentially, that is what we got, and I'm seeing a little bit of a resistance. Let's see, we have a downtrending line here, slightly. So we're pretty much heading towards it. This would be better. Getting close, but not yet. So this is one initial move, and now we got our pivots. So if that holds, and then we break above this triple top, that's a daily uptrend confirm, and we're lucky coming back up to here, test this level. 4.6, which coincides exactly with the level of resistance right there. You can see all this support bounces here. When we come up to it, it's going to act as strong resistance, which coincides with this downtrending resistance. So that'll be likely a spot where there'll be a little bit tough for the bulls to get over, and there'll be some rejections here. So we'll see if bulls can pull it off. Yeah, that level is quite strong. You can see all this rejections here as well, and support if we were above it. So the pretty key level there, historically. So all right, yeah, that's all I got for you guys. And if you guys got any questions, feel free to comment below. And if you guys made it this far, if you subscribe, if you guys learn anything, and I will see you guys on Monday. I might start doing more commodities and stock market videos together now. So, and there's a scuba diving video in the end where I saw a eel and in France, so that was pretty cool. And maybe I'll start posting some more as well, my other places that I went to for France at the end of the videos. And have a great rest of you guys' weekend.